Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon have been dating for 2 years and have even moved in together. But behind the sweet and romantic image that fans often see, it seems that certain barriers still exist between them, especially when it comes to Brad Pitt's finances and business dealings. According to RadarOnline.com, a close source revealed that while their relationship is going well, Brad Pitt remains extremely cautious about letting Ines get involved in his business affairs. This is particularly true for his two most significant assets: Plan B Entertainment, the production company he co-founded with ex-wife Jennifer Aniston, and Château Miraval, the winery at the center of his ongoing legal battle with Angelina Jolie. Despite spending 2 years together, Pitt still hasn't fully opened the doors for Ines to step into his business world. And it's not hard to see why he's being so careful. Plan B was one of the most pivotal ventures of Pitt's career. Even though he sold a majority stake in the company in 2022, he still maintains certain ties to it. But his biggest concern remains Miraval, the multi-million-dollar winery entangled in a long-standing legal dispute with Angelina Jolie. The battle over Miraval has been dragging on for years, and Pitt likely doesn't want Ines to get caught up in such a complicated matter. Some sources suggest that Pitt is determined not to repeat past mistakes. His divorce from Angelina Jolie not only damaged his public image but also led to prolonged legal battles over shared assets. Now, even though he has entered a new relationship, he still seems wary of allowing Ines to be involved in his personal financial matters. Ines de Ramon, for her part, is an independent and accomplished woman. As a well-known jewelry designer, she is financially self-sufficient and does not rely on Brad Pitt for financial support. However, being kept at arm's length in this aspect of his life may leave her feeling like she hasn't earned his full trust. Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon share a strong relationship, but like any couple, they face their own set of challenges. At the moment, Pitt continues to set clear boundaries with his girlfriend, particularly when it comes to his finances and business affairs. This could be a result of the painful experiences from his past, or simply his way of safeguarding his assets from unforeseen complications. Either way, as someone as seasoned as Brad Pitt, he undoubtedly understands the potential risks involved. The real question is, will Ines accept the role she currently plays in his life, or will she want a more solid position, not just in their relationship, but also in Pitt's business world? While there are no visible signs of trouble yet, if Pitt continues to maintain his distance in financial and business matters, could that eventually take a toll on their relationship? While the legal battle was far from over, Pitt began to worry that the Miraval story might repeat itself with Ines de Ramon, the woman he was currently dating. He didn't want anyone, not even the woman he loved, getting involved in his business affairs anymore. "Stay out of my business," he told Ines firmly. It wasn't that he didn't trust her, but he had learned a painful lesson from his war with Jolie. Miraval, once a paradise for Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, had now become nothing more than a scar in their never-ending battle. For over a year, Pitt had been entangled in a bitter legal dispute with his ex-wife, but there was one thing he hadn't considered. The shadow of this lawsuit could loom over his new relationship with Ines de Ramon. Brad Pitt had found happiness with Ines, a new love after heartbreak. But recently, a close source revealed that he had warned his girlfriend to stay away from his business dealings. What could make a man as experienced as Brad so cautious about the woman by his side? The legal war between Pitt and Jolie over Miraval wasn't just about ownership. It also laid bare the dark corners of their marriage. Brad accused Angelina of selling her share of Miraval to a Russian businessman without his consent. Meanwhile, Jolie insisted she had every right to do so. The result, a high-stakes legal battle that had dragged on for months. Château Miraval, southern France. Once, it had been a paradise for Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Standing hand in hand amidst endless vineyards under the golden hues of sunset, no one could have imagined that one day this very place would become a brutal legal battleground between them. Their wedding took place here. An intimate chapel, the joyful laughter of their children echoing through the air. "We'll keep this place forever," Jolie had once whispered to Pitt on the eve of their wedding. But forever turned out to be much shorter than they had imagined. Their marriage began to crack under the weight of long flights, film shoots on opposite ends of the world, and irreconcilable differences. When Jolie filed for divorce, Miraval became one of the most valuable assets in the settlement. She wanted a clean break from the past, while Pitt fought to keep it, not just because it was a successful vineyard, but because it was a symbol of family. Pitt offered to buy out Jolie's share, but things weren't that simple. In October 2021, Angelina Jolie quietly sold her stake in Miraval to a Russian businessman, Yuri Shefler, without Pitt's consent. To him, it wasn't just a shock, it was a betrayal. He immediately took legal legal action. Sitting in his Los Angeles estate, a bottle of Miraval wine on the table, Pitt poured himself a glass but didn't drink. The scent transported him back to the past, to afternoons spent with Jolie tasting each new batch of wine, their laughter carried by the wind through the vineyards. His hands clenched into fists. He refused to let Miraval fall into the hands of an outsider. Jolie, meanwhile, was lost in her own thoughts. She knew Pitt still felt deeply attached to Miraval, but she also knew she no longer wanted anything tethering her to the past. "We're just too different now," she whispered to herself, standing by the window of her Paris hotel room, gazing down at the city she once loved. While the legal battle raged on, Pitt began to fear that the Miraval situation could repeat itself with Ines de Ramon, the woman he was now dating. He didn't want anyone, not even the woman he loved, entangled in his business affairs again. "Stay out of my business," he told Ines firmly. It wasn't a matter of trust, it was a lesson learned the hard way. In September 2023, the court issued its first ruling in Pitt's favor. Documents revealed that Jolie had sold her shares in an opaque manner, giving Pitt an opportunity to reclaim Miraval. The fight wasn't over, but for the first time, Pitt saw a light at the end of the tunnel. He no longer wanted to battle Jolie, not because his anger had faded, but because he was exhausted. And then, on a crisp autumn day, Jolie sent Pitt a letter. Just one short sentence: "Do whatever you want with Miraval, but don't let it consume you." Standing on Miraval's soil, Pitt took a deep breath. This battle had drained years of his life, but now Miraval was finally his, completely. He looked out over the vineyards, sunlight shimmering on the ripe clusters of grapes. Miraval was no longer a symbol of lost love. It was the legacy of a long journey. With Ines, he knew he had to keep a clear boundary between love and business. This time, he wouldn't let anyone alter Miraval's fate, and this time, he would protect it at all costs. The halls of the Los Angeles courthouse echoed with hurried footsteps. Stacks of thick legal files were laid out on the table. Both sides braced for an all-out war. Pitt's lawyer argued Jolie acted behind his back. Their agreement clearly stated that both parties had to approve any sale of shares. Jolie didn't back down. "I had every right to do it. I wanted nothing more to do with that place, and I sold it for a fair price."